Hey everybody, it's me, Natalie Diaz, founder of Twiniversity and author of What to Do When You're Having Two. Welcome back to your 33rd week of your twin pregnancy. Are you ready to check some more items off that to-do list? Let's get going. I'm glad to see you're back. How's it going so far? How do you feel? Genuinely let me know. Put how you are doing in the comments below. And if you go back to the other videos, you'll see I actually comment back because I really do. I want to know how you're feeling. I want to know how it's going. And look, we've been together for 33 weeks so far. Just, drop me a line. So this week I do have a few items that I want to make sure are crossed off your to-do list. Number one, I'm hoping that your hospital bag is packed. Number two, I am hoping that you have an idea of what you'd like for your birth preferences. And then I also want to kind of dig in to talk about interviewing pediatricians today. If you haven't found one yet, we're going to need to find one soon. So let's discuss that in detail. Everybody says, how the heck do I find a pediatrician? There's a few ways we could go about this, right? There's one that we could go specifically by geography. Who's the closest pediatrician to you? Can you get there easily, whether it is rain, snow, sleet, hail, tropical storm? Many parents of twins literally do pick the closest pediatrician to them. Another way people pick their pediatrician is entirely by hospital affiliation. If you live in an area where there are multiple hospitals to choose from, first of all, you're very lucky. And secondly, you may have a hospital that's your favorite. Be it that you like the doctors, the services they offer, the location of the hospital. Perhaps one hospital has a pediatric emergency room where the other one doesn't. If you have a favorite hospital, then you might want to look for a doctor that is specifically associated with that hospital, because not all hospitals allow every single doctor to have privileges there. Now, what exactly does that mean? If you pick a doctor that doesn't have privileges to work in a specific hospital, then they will not have it as easy as somebody who does have that access. Pediatrician that's associated with one hospital is going to be significantly more familiar with the services that they have to offer for you in your 20s. Also, if you ever needed a specialist, if a doctor had an association with one hospital, they're going to know probably by first name the doctors that you may need for your 20s if they did need a specialist. Another way you might pick a pediatrician is going by gender. Sometimes moms want to only work with other moms, and so by finding a female pediatrician, you might be more comfortable. It could also be the complete opposite. If you grew up and your pediatrician was a man and you still to this day have the fondest of memories, you might want the same for your 20s. I'm not being sexist. That's actually just true. If you're more comfortable with somebody versus another, then maybe lean towards that. At the end of the day, having a really good, solid relationship with your pediatrician is going to be very important. You also may want to consider how old your pediatrician is. I know that sounds crazy too. Some people like pediatricians that are nearing retirement because they have lived more, seen more things, and know more things. Where other people want a younger pediatrician who may be more up to date on the latest and greatest innovations that are coming around the corner in the next few years. There's no right answer here. Well, I guess the right answer would be to find a practice that has both male and female pediatricians that are both old and young. Yes, I guess maybe that's the answer there. Speaking of that, do you want to practice? If you go to a pediatrician's practice, then you have a better likelihood of getting an appointment you want on the day you want if you have the flexibility of going to whatever doctor is on call that day. Now, on that note, you might want to find a pediatrician that has weekend hours. If you have a very strict job and it's going to be very difficult for you to get time off during the week to take those 20s to the doctor, then find a pediatric practice that has office hours on weekends so that you could go on a Saturday or Sunday and not feel like you're rushed and under a time crunch. Now, in this pediatrician's practice, is there an in-house lactation consultant? Is there an in-house therapist? Do they do blood work on site? Annually, your kids are going to have hearing and vision exams. Will they do that on site? If your 20s are sick and you go to the pediatrician, are they going to make you wait in the waiting room, or are they going to put you directly into a doctor's office? What's the protocol if you go in with a sick 20? What is the after hour care like? If you have a question at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday evening because somebody's running a fever, could you call a hotline and there'll be a doctor that could help you? There are so many wonderful benefits of finding a pediatrician that's going to work best with you. Trust me, it is. I still to this day speak to my twinnies pediatrician, and look, my kids are 400 years old. You really develop very, very close relationships with these people, especially when you are a twin parent, because we're there twice as much. And yes, I could say that if you have 2 children, odds are that you're going to be there just the same amount. However, usually when you have twinnies, you go back to back to back to back, right? So I would go to the pediatrician on a Tuesday at noon because baby A would have an ear infection. I knew very quickly that by Thursday, I might want to make an appointment for that other twinnie. It really depends. Maybe ear infection was a bad example, but like a stomach virus, it's kind of how that happened. Now, another thing that's great about pediatricians is that if you are choosing to formula feed, usually at pediatric offices, there might be an entire array of free formula samples there, and maybe even some coupons. I love me some coupons. Did you know that you could actually ask your pediatrician to ask the pharmaceutical rep that's coming to bring that formula for an extra pack of coupons just for you? It's true. And did you know that you could ask your pediatrician to get you some extra samples if you really need them? And did you know that if you are experiencing a financial hardship that isn't going to be enough to qualify you for receiving food stamps, however, you may need a little extra support, you could ask the pediatrician to ask that pharmaceutical rep for extra samples so that you could have more formula for your babies. This is what I'm talking about by having a great pediatrician. So that is actually what I would like for you to focus on this week in your 33rd week. Find the best pediatrician for you and your family. Other things I wouldn't be mad at you if you did was, do you know what your after birth work strategy is going to be? All right, we're going to talk about that next week. Fear not, my friends. That's going to be the theme. So come back next week for your 34th week, which is when I actually delivered my twinnies. You're doing so good at your 33rd week. I hope that you're still drinking your water. I hope that you've watched the other videos and really checked off a lot of those items because, girl, it is showtime very, very, very soon. You are getting there. I hope you're resting. I hope you're relaxing. I hope you're stretching. I hope you're sleeping. I hope you're getting excited. I hope that you're sitting in a completed twin nursery and just looking at those little cribs, waiting for them to be filled with your sweetest little babies, because it's going to happen soon. And look at you, 33 weeks, 33 weeks. I am so proud of you. You are doing so fantastic. I cannot wait to see you next week for the big 3-4. Until then, you know where to find me. You could go to twiniversity.com. You could email us at community@twiniversity.com. Or if you're like, Nat, I still need more, I'm starting to get stressed. Don't worry, guys. We got you covered. I have your online, on-demand Expecting Twins class. I have your online, on-demand twins breastfeeding class. We have your twins plus singletons class. If you have an older child and you're like, what am I going to do now? We also have the complete baby safety course, which if you're going to take anything, that's what you should be taking. Remember, scholarships are available. So if you are experiencing a financial hardship, my friend, don't fret. Email us, like I said, community@twiniversity.com. Until next week, have the best week ever. I love you guys. I'll see you then. You're doing it. I'm so proud of you. But go put your feet up now.